Hello and welcome back to Onion Unlimited, the live stream. I'm joined again by my good friend, Corrine.
Hey, Daniel.
How you
hey,
doing,
Mariella.
Corine?
Yeah,
And
we've
got Mariella over there. Are you
in
with
the dead
us?
corner.
I'm here in the corner of obscurity where I like to stay.
There you go. You can't see her face, but she is here.
Yeah.
She is here listening intently to the subject under discussion today, which is the mystery of ley lines. So a little bit of an introduction. The concept of ley lines first introduced as far back as 1921 by a guy called Alfred Watkins, who was a British antiquarian and photographer. He was out studying maps of Herefordshire in Old Blighty. And
Blighty.
Old Blighty in England. He noticed that a lot of ancient sites, things like standing stones, burial mounds, old churches, that kind of thing, all seem to align in straight lines across the landscape. And he thought, that's a bit unusual. Started having a little think as to the reason what that might be. And he came up with the idea that they were probably along ancient trackways, so basically paths, roads, that kind of thing. And that they were probably used for things like trade and the more spiritual ones like churches, probably spiritual pilgrimages. Mm-hmm. Called them leys, which comes from the Old English word ley, ley, which basically just means a cleared path or a meadow. So from that, you sort of get this idea that people used to, before roads, I guess, and before pathways, they would take the shortest distance, wouldn't they, between this church and that church, or this pub and that pub.
Yeah, or monument.
Or monument,
or landmark.
Absolutely, and they would produce like these roads, these lines, and then over time that would become, just becomes the road, doesn't it? The pathway. So that's the origin of it. No mysticism behind it whatsoever. He published a book called The Old Straight Track in 1925, saying that these were just practical routes across a prehistoric Britain. And then it all changed in the 1960s and 70s.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! What was going on in the 60s and 70s?
A whole heap of words. A whole heap of weird stuff.
Basically,
yeah. Acid.
Yeah, a bit of the old
maybe. I don't know.
LCD.
A whole lot of
LSD.
letters. A whole lot of letters.
LSD. Yeah, a lot of lettuce in the salad.
There you go. So from the 60s and the 70s, this whole idea that ley lines were a bit mysterious and a bit mystical took on, and that basically came out of the New Age spirituality, things like geomancy, which is divination, and sort of earth mystery movements, all that kind of thing, Mother Nature and all that kind of thing. So today, if you mention ley lines to everybody, it's all very ooh, and it's associated with things like earth energies. Some people believe it's they're like subtle natural forces that run around the earth, almost a bit like chakras in the human body.
Right.
So at the outset, before we dive into this, let's have a little vote. Do you think ley lines are some sort of mysterious energy field running around the earth? Is there anything mystical about ley lines, or are they just old pathways? What do you reckon, Mariella?
I think they're areas of energy, heightened energy that you can tap into.
You do think there are?
Do
you believe in ley lines? Do you think they are?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
So you don't think it's coincidence that the spiritual monuments are on these special lines? You think they placed them there for a reason, not just that tracks occurred because people were walking from one to the other?
No, I believe that they were deliberate.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Okay. What about you, Corrine?
Well, I think it's probably
the mystical or the skeptical.
Well, no, I think it's probably a bit of both. To be fair, it's where mystical, as in yes, it looked like the right place. It felt right energetically to maybe put a building there, or there was a landmark that kind of connected with people that they were drawn to. So then you do build a road to that, and then that may be a straight line or it may be a line. And then the next place that felt right ended up then aligning. So I guess, to me, it's probably a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
All righty. So you got mystical Mariella in the corner of obscurity. You got Corrine, who's slightly on the fence, bit divided. Bit of both.
Yeah, I think there needs to be more discussion and more information.
What role shall I play then? The total skeptic. Shall I go with the total skeptic and say I think it's all just a load of nonsense?
You could.
I'll do that. I don't think it is, but for the sake of argument today, I'll be devil's advocate and say, yeah, it's a load of twaddle. All righty. Okay, so if you like what we're doing, I'm going to say at the outset, can you take a moment just to subscribe? Reason being, please, is we keep making all this content.
We do.
Don't we, Corrine?
Yep, crickets all the time.
Pretty much. We get very few likes, very few subscribes. Now, it could just be that our shows are complete crap. That could be the reason.
No.
Never.
But I don't think...
maybe they are.
Well,
Who
maybe
knows?
it is.
But,
Maybe it is.
we need fans. We need likes.
We do.
Need comments.
I don't think that is the reason. I think it's just that these days I do it myself. We tend to watch things, think, oh, that was good, but we don't take the time to do the like and the subscribe. So, yeah, please, if you like what we're doing, please, I'm begging you.
Yes, like, subscribe, and make a comment.
Do you know that would be the best thing?
Comment would be really,
that
really
would be
good.
the absolute best thing.
Because that guides us and it sort of gives a bit of a clue as to whether we are talking Bob or not.
I love it. And we love the comments. We love the engagement. And unlike some channels, we do actually reply to everyone.
Yeah, because we hardly get any.
Well, there is that, yeah.
So it would be rude not to.
It would really, wouldn't it? All right, so that's lovely. So let's do that. Right, we're going to dive into this subject then. So examples of ley line alignments. I've got a few examples here for you. Stonehenge in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very well-known one. That's on what's known as the so-called Michael line. We'll be talking about this a little bit later, but it's basically if you follow the Michael line, you'll come across a huge number of churches dedicated to St. Michael, the Archangel.
I was going to ask you that question and who named that line Michael's?
Well, have you ever noticed how many churches are called St. Michael's?
Yes. There's a lot.
There's a lot. And if you look at it, a lot of them are on the same line. You can draw a line between them.
That is very fascinating.
All right, so that's the first.
That's a good one.
The first one. We've got the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt.
Yep. Oh, huge. I mean, that's got to be number one, I would probably say.
Well, that's on a line which is known as the Great Circle, which basically goes around the Earth. And there are a number of very significant places like the Great Pyramid of Giza. There's a few other places. I'm just trying to see if I've got any here. Petra in Jordan.
Oh, yep.
Is that the one? That's the one where it's got that facade, isn't it? That temple facade cut into the rock.
Stunning. Yeah.
That was in Indiana Jones.
Was it?
It was, in The Last Crusade.
Right. And I think they've been trying to bomb the whole of Jordan. And, yeah, I'd be surprised what the condition of Petra would be these days.
Persepolis, probably pronouncing that wrong, in Iran. Another place called Mohenjo-Daro in Pakistan. And, of course, the Easter Islands. We'll be getting onto those a little bit as well. They're the ones where they've got the big statues, aren't they?
Yes, the big heads that they thought were just heads, but there's actually bodies connected to those underneath the soil. So that could potentially be like mud flats or something.
12 to 14 tons each.
Yeah. And how did they get there? Nobody knows.
All right, so a lot of those things, they're on this what's known as the Great Circle that goes around the entire globe.
Yeah, which is great.
They're in alignment. We've got Machu Picchu.
Yep.
Probably not called that at all. In Peru, that's near Nazca.
Yep.
Nazca, of course, is where they've got those chalk cuttings into the side of the hills.
Yes.
Like those giant
faces in a way.
Faces, horses. There's a great big guy with huge dingaling. All that sort of thing.
Huge dingaling? Or a member, huge member?
Memory serves me right. Cut into the side. All part of their.
Impressive.
He was obviously the number one man.
Then there's another one in the UK. There's an awful lot of these occur in the UK. UK is quite a mystical place.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Well, apparently there's some running through London, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, London, Paris. Yeah.
And the big one in London, of course, is Glastonbury.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Glastonbury Tour. Be talking about that in a bit because I've been there. Associated with Avalon, not the album.
King Arthur's Avalon?
By Roxy Music. Not that. King Arthur's Avalon. Yeah, absolutely. So
really? Oh, so I did get that right then.
Yeah.
And I've been to King Arthur's place in Wales.
Oh, in Wales. Okay, well,
yes.
Glastonbury's not in Wales.
No,
Glastonbury's
it's not.
down
It's
in near Bristol.
England.
But yeah. So it's associated with Avalon. Now, the myths say that Avalon is where King Arthur was taken after he was mortally wounded in battle.
Mm-hmm.
All the myths say it's a kind of island. It's an island. Glastonbury obviously isn't an island.
No.
It's just a place in the UK.
Yeah. It rains a lot and it gets very muddy, but it's not an island.
No, so there's some sort of poetic license in that. But yeah, it's very closely associated with that. They say Glastonbury is basically where King Arthur went, and that's the Avalon in the myths.
Oh,
right.
All right,
There you
and
go.
Glastonbury Tour is on a ley line.
Interesting.
Okay, so there's a few examples. Now, I'm just going to go a little bit of a tangent here, sticking with the Glastonbury Tour thing. Have you heard of Joseph of Arimathea's hawthorn tree?
no.
I have heard of a hawthorn tree, yes.
How about Joseph of Arimathea? Have you heard of him?
Is he like a biblical figure?
He is a biblical
Yeah.
figure. Do you know who he
I've heard of him, yes.
Do you remember who he was?
He was the guy who took Jesus' body and
Correct.
prepared him for burial.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Joseph of Arimathea. Apparently, according to Christian legend, after he provided that tomb for Jesus, he left Jerusalem, did Joseph of Arimathea,
Mm.
and he came to Britain. Of course he did.
Well, it was a Roman. It was a Roman.
Well, yeah, okay, maybe that's not as
Area.
far-fetched as...
No.
Yeah, okay. My mind immediately sort of went, how the Mormons say that, Jesus went to America.
Yeah, no, that's a bit different.
Is that a bit different?
I think that might be a myth, but there has been many rumours even that Mary went to England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that because there is supposedly churches in England where there's, secret things buried and
Mm-hmm.
that Jesus was alive and started a whole family and that over there. So one of the bloodlines, so to speak.
All right, okay. So maybe not too far-fetched. Maybe Joseph of Arimathea could have come to Britain. What about this bit? Do you think this is true? He came from Jerusalem with his walking stick, which presumably was made out of a hawthorn tree, the wood from a hawthorn tree.
Are we still talking of Joseph?
Yeah.
Right.
And when he arrived in Glastonbury Tour, he stuck his walking stick in the ground and it miraculously took root and turned into a hawthorn tree.
Yeah, no,
Isn't that interesting with the sword of Arthur that got stuck in the ground as well?
Oh.
So, could that be a reinterpretation
Could
of
be.
Oh.
yeah.
that story?
Mystical Mariella in the corner quite
Yes.
surprisingly went, nah.
No.
You were calling BS on that one, weren't you?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
You don't believe
I
him?
mean, it's plausible that he did end up in Britain as it was known
Yeah.
by the Romans back then, however it was. But I think then we're starting to get legendary and historically inaccurate.
Getting a little bit daft.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay, well, apparently that hawthorn tree that grew out of Joseph's walking stick, it was quite an unusual hawthorn tree in that it blossomed twice a year. Once around Christmas and again around spring. So
Would that
sort of
be the
Christmas and
equinox?
Easter.
Would this be the,
Mm,
darkest night of the year and then the
You know,
shortest
well,
night of the
maybe,
year?
but I was just thinking about the sort of Christian connotations, which is Christmas
See,
and Easter.
pagan's
Isn't it?
Christmas and
probably
Easter,
a little
yeah.
bit more to go with, but
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, a lot of things started off pagan, and Christianity just Christianized it, didn't it?
I think isn't that all of it? I think I don't think there was much to the original Christian anything.
Well, they said it was a miracle anyway. Twice a year, this tree, and people still flock to Glastonbury to go and see the tree. I've been there. I've walked up the tour. I've seen the tree.
Does it still blossom twice a year?
Well, the thing is,
was a tree dead now?
Well, the thing is that the tree was actually destroyed during the English Civil War, so it hasn't actually been there for quite a long time.
Right.
What they did when it was destroyed is they took a few cuttings from the original tree, and that's what's actually on Glastonbury now.
And so they've made baby trees?
Right. And people still flock to see it and go, it's Joseph of Arimathea's walking stick. It's kind of not.
But it's diluted.
A bit like a bunny laying an egg. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. You mean they don't?
So can we have a vote? Can we have a vote on that one? The legend that Joseph of Arimathea came to the UK, stuck his stick in the ground. It turned into a hawthorn tree, and became a miraculous tree that blossomed twice a year around Christmas and Easter. And the whole thing was taking place, of course, on a ley line.
Well, I would say that a lot of that is a mythical story, but some of it potentially might be based in fact.
What about you, Mystical Mariella?
I agree with Corinne on that one.
A little bit.
Yeah, so some of it is plausible, and but most of it, I think,
all good lies contain some fact.
Okay,
and it's the same with the story. So every good story must have, some truth in it. So who knows? I wasn't there. I can't remember.
Bit before your time, isn't it?
Well,
yeah.
All right,
so that's
this
Glastonbury. Just two more just to round this section up. The Easter Islands, we've talked about the Moai statues. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Moai, Moai. 12 to 14 tons. So pretty heavy. Much like the pyramid stones.
Yep.
Lays on the intersection of global ley lines.
Yes.
And if they all run in that same circular line all the way around the globe.
Including the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Yeah. To me, that solidifies to me that there was something about the energy along that line. Because from what we know, based on, people didn't have the technology that we have today to work out. Or did they?
Or did they?
Because, most of the statues actually.
Most of them, exactly, yeah.
And they don't know how they got there. And most of the actual statues face out to sea, which is kind of interesting because were they positioned there to greet the travellers? So did they know which direction travellers were coming from?
Or were
so
they
that's
there
always
to
an interesting
travellers?
concept, or to frighten them. Because it could be to greet or scare. Yeah, because they're interesting faces. They're not human faces in a way.
No,
they're a bit more alien-esque kind of.
Well, there is a bit of a possible extraterrestrial link there. It's said that those the ley lines that run through the Easter Islands are linked with ancient star maps and possible ancient extraterrestrial contact.
Could be, possibly.
So maybe those statues are not even human at all. Maybe they're...
That's correct. Could be, because that stone is not from those islands either, so we don't even know how they got there.
All right. And then finally there's another one in France, the Chartres Cathedral, built on a site that used to be sacred to the Druids. So again, there's a book by a guy called Paul Devereux, Lines on the Landscape, written in 1992. Great book. It says to dismiss ley lines as coincidence is to ignore the persistence of patterns across thousands of years. Whether they served as trackways, vision lines, or resonant markers of sacred spaces, their presence in myth and geography suggests an ancient understanding of land and spirit, something we may only now be starting to rediscover through the fog of modernity.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And the interesting part is that you didn't mention this, and I had to, excuse me, is that two guys, William Becker and Bethy Higgins, they placed what's called a isosahedron, whatever that is, which basically it's a object that's got 20 faces. So it's like a polyhedron.
Okay.
And then when you align them, so basically what they did is they placed these objects on the maps of the world, all these special places, and that's how they got through these 20 points as they converged together. These lines all showed because they created a ley line map of the world.
Right, and that's giving me the idea that these ley lines, or some of the ley lines, sort of are in a bit of a grid system as well, like almost sort of polygons and things like that.
And that's why they use this special orthogonal, I think it's called, but it's got 20. I had to look it up, and it's got 20 faces, and they're all like, the points, because they're in triangular, and they all face in different directions. So if you place it on a point on the map, and then it points in all these different directions, the lines go to other areas. So I guess you could call them a ley line because it points at the next destination.
So they've actually done it from a sort of geometrical point of view.
Yes, because they sort of are more talking about sacred geometry.
Okay.
So vibrational energy lines.
Yeah. So some pattern to it. That's kind of what this guy Paul Devereaux was saying, that there's patterns there.
Yeah.
And when there's patterns, usually there's a pattern maker behind it. There's something going on. There's some reason for
studying it or analysing it.
Yeah. So all right, we'll take that into account as we move forward. So just a quick reminder: if you're enjoying this show so far, please hit that subscribe button and the like button and the little notification bell, and show us a little bit of love, please, and leave a comment. Let us know.
Please write something, even if you hate it.
Absolutely.
Give us a suggestion.
Get a response. All right, brilliant. So we're going to move on now to power sources. The idea that maybe these ley lines have got something to do with earth energy. So Mystical Mariella in the corner of obscurity over there would probably be quite interested in this, because you're quite a big believer in the old chakra system, aren't you?
I am, yes.
You believe that humans have got some sort of energy fields running through them?
Definitely.
Okay. And would you extend that to the earth? You would say that the earth has also got like...
Of course, yes. We get our energy from the earth and from below and above. So it's all the way through different levels. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So the idea that ley lines are more than just alignments, tracks and what have you began to evolve in the 1960s. Visionaries like John Mitchell, a book called The View Over Atlantis in 1969, the year that I was born.
Good year, was it?
It was a pretty good year. We landed on the moon apparently that year as well.
Really?
Or did we? Suggested that these lines weren't just old footpaths, but energy lines, remnants of a prehistoric understanding of the Earth's geomagnetic field. Theories have ranged from, I'm going to give you a few now, telluric currents, which are basically electrical currents flowing through the Earth, potentially stronger at certain points or intersections. All right, telluric currents. The Earth's natural electromagnetic field, which if you've ever looked at a diagram of it, it sort of looks a bit like a magnet, doesn't it, with the poles going around. Some researchers argue that these ancient sites have been built on energy vortices where electromagnetic activity is naturally higher than other places. And then it can be used for healing, ritual, or communication. So this brings in the idea that, churches, chapels, maybe some of these sort of like spas, places where people go to get healed. Is there something going on electromagnetically? Now you're into healing in a big way, aren't you? The things that you do your breath work, meditation, all that kind of thing.
Yes, that's right.
Do you do anything with electromagnetic energies? Or is that not something that you specialise in?
Well, yes, and it's interesting that you should say that, because my cat, one of them, had injured itself quite badly. I think it either got bitten and it ended up having a swollen leg, could hardly stand, could hardly walk. And I was actually doing energy healing. So basically activating the hands and then getting electrical energy, I guess, because that's what it is, and using that to try to help heal. And she's actually gotten better and she's perfectly fine now. And I thought I was going to have to take her to the doctor and there's going to be major surgery or something, because she literally could hardly walk with her 2 back legs. Oh, wow. And now she's walking 4 days later just fine.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do believe in electrical currents and energy healing, and even traveling. Sometimes you get to a place and it feels different, or you might come near a tree and you can feel the vibration, or you can feel the energy. And the same thing happens with a lot of religious sites, whether they're ancient or new. They most likely have been built on those places because someone has used their intuition or their energetic sense and gone, this would be a great place to build because it feels good. Like, I don't know if you get to a place and you go, I quite like this place, or no, I need to leave. I'm really uncomfortable.
Very much so.
So you don't build something if it feels really wrong. You don't stay somewhere if it feels really wrong.
Couple of examples of that. I was interviewing a guy called John Polk, Reverend John Polk, who does these like extraterrestrial tours where he takes people out into the, sure where it was, the Nevada desert or something.
Oh, yes,
wasn't it?
yes.
Remember that one?
Arizona.
Was it Arizona? Somewhere like that. And,
Well, there's supposedly sightings in both.
yeah, well, he reckons like he's never, no one's ever asked for a refund because every time he's taken them out, they've seen something.
Yeah.
But there was like this huge rock there, and there's all these like handprints on the rock, and it's almost like people that have gone there, they've either gone there for a reason or when they've been there, they felt drawn to it and they've had to leave their handprint on it.
Yeah. But I mean,
Almost like a connection, like I've touched this, but I can feel the connection
I
from
can
the
feel the
other
connection.
side.
Yeah. And I want to leave my mark because I've felt it. I
And
guess.
presumably that's been going on thousands of years. Just the way that electricity works, like electric pylons that carry electricity. If you've ever been near an electric pylon,
you feel it.
You can actually feel the electricity in the air.
Absolutely. And it zaps and it vibrates and you come near it and it's like this, I guess it's like this vortex, this sound that just goes with it, and you can feel the movement of it as well.
The way electricity works, this was something that I only learned relatively recently, and I think I'm understanding this correctly. I always thought that, when you've got an electric cable, you plug your cable into the wall. I always thought the electricity runs through the cable, rather like when you connect a hose pipe, water runs through the hose pipe. Yeah, It doesn't. That's not what happens. What happens when you have a cable? The molecules in the particles in the cable are agitated with an oscillating frequency. It moves backwards and forwards. Yeah, the actual electricity is actually on the outside of the cable. It's around the cable.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it travels from one place to the other outside the cable. It's just a molecule. Electricity is not like water just flowing through a thing. I think I've understood that correctly. Tell us in the comments if that's complete nonsense. But this is why when you're standing underneath an electric pylon, you can actually feel the electricity.
Yes.
It's electromagnetic energy.
Yes.
That is all around the cables. It's not just in the cables, it's all around the cables.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Which then I guess in a way you can describe the same thing for humans, where we've all got a field, an energetic field, and some people might call it a personal
says she
space
can feel
or
this
not.
in people, don't you?
Yeah, and you can sometimes, come very close to people because their field might be quite small or they're allowing you in, and then other people have got a strong field that they don't want anyone coming close to them, or they might just be, quite defensive. So, yeah, you can sense someone's
So you're starting
field.
to get into the areas of auras and stuff like that, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's all an energy field.
Yeah, it's an energy field.
Based.
Yeah.
And I guess these ley lines,
their energy
from my
lines.
understanding and how I understand it. I mean, I probably could be wrong, more than likely, knowing me. But if they are high energy points, then people who are energetically driven and clairsentient or whatever,
good receivers of energy,
good receivers of energy,
able to pick
they
up on
feel that difference because we are all energetic beings. So, and some people
maybe that's it. I mean, the
others.
same principle with radio waves. Like radio waves is basically electromagnetism. Again, it's traveling in waves through the air,
time and space.
And if you've got a radio receiver, you can tune into that and you can pick up the signal and make sense of it. So maybe some people are more attuned to being able to tune into those signals. One question I had on this is, even though these days maybe the electromagnetic field in certain places is considerably less obvious, possibly in hundreds or thousands of years in the past, maybe those areas were much stronger.
And I would tend to agree with you on that because I think we've now got so much interference going on.
Exactly.
And also we've got
Wi-Fi
people.
and
And we've also got people living more densely populated in cities. So there's so much noise pollution as well because, you've got cars, you've got buildings, we live in concrete jungles. So
maybe the Wi-Fi and the radio signals and the TV signals and the electric pylons is just distorting the signals. And if you didn't have that there, maybe that explains why certain places like the Arizona or Tuscan Desert or wherever it was that guy was, maybe that's why those places still feel very spiritual and sacred.
Yes, because
they don't
they
have
haven't been
overhead
interfered
pylons,
with.
do they?
Correct.
That's right.
Yes, and they don't have the Wi-Fi and they don't have that constant, even though a lot of it is in the background because we don't always hear it. Animals could potentially hear it, like dogs can hear different noises and cats and birds.
Yeah.
We might not as humans be able to perceive it through our ears, but we still actually take all that in, that there's so much noise that we don't feel that energy, even though the energy might still be there. Or maybe that energy is actually being suppressed. That's the other interesting thing as well is as you build more things on top of.
Not sideways by all the Wi-Fi signals.
Or even maybe by the concrete, even just by building things on top of things and on top of things, which is also why sometimes when archaeologists discover things and bring it up underground and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it all feels different and it looks different or, whereas, if it's in a big city, it just doesn't feel like anything.
All right, well, there's some theories for you. A lot of that resonates with me. Talking about resonance and vibration. Mariella, have you heard of I'm going to murder this, Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni in Malta?
Al-Safi.
Probably.
Yeah.
You've heard of that, have you? Okay, so that's a sacred site.
There are a number of sacred sites in Malta.
Well, this one resonates at 111 hertz, which is a frequency tied to the human brain's theta waves, which is linked to things like deep meditation, light sleep, early stages of sleep, hypnagogic states, and creative insight and heightened intuition.
I wish I had have gone there when I was there in 2010. But I wasn't allowed.
You were allowed?
We won't go there.
What, because it was too mystical?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you think you'd have been able to pick up on the 111 hertz frequency?
I think I would have.
You'd have think your theta waves would have been bouncing around a bit.
Wow. I really want to.
Probably fall asleep when you go there.
There are so many, just so many places in Malta, honestly, that I can't explain to you just what you feel. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's very relaxing if you go there because it affects your theta waves in your brain. Hypnagogic. Are you familiar with that term? Hypnagogic.
Well, hypno sounds like hypnotizing.
Does a bit.
And then gogic.
I don't know.
You have to enlighten me on that one.
I knew someone who was very into hypnagogism. Basically, it's a sleep experience. It's associated with dreamlike imagery, floating sensations, and stuff like that. And it's particularly that kind of semi-conscious period.
Oh, I get them
just
a
before
lot.
you fall asleep, but just before you wake up. Is that sort of like that brief moment when you're asleep but you're not asleep?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's a lovely
very
feeling.
Familiar with that.
Yes.
Yeah, and like things like lucid dreaming, this friend I had trained himself to be able to stay for a lot longer period in the hypnagogic state.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like lucid dreaming, you can actually train yourself to be aware of the fact you're dreaming, and then you can actually start doing stuff in your dreams, which is quite amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that hypnagogic state, it's associated with that 111 hertz again.
Okay.
Right.
So it's that sort of nice dreamy, asleep but not quite asleep, almost like meditation.
Oh, so
Well, when you meditate, you definitely can get into that state, especially when you do the silent meditation. And when you might introduce some breathing techniques, or you just do the real focused going within and shutting out all the noise, including your own.
Yeah.
Yes, then you do tend to go into that hypnagogic state.
It's all about theta waves. So, they're some of these places that we're talking about, if they're on ley lines, like that one in Malta, there's going to be certain frequencies in that particular area. And I suppose then it's not really surprising that people go there to meditate. They think if I'm here or there, I feel all dreamy and I feel creative and I feel spiritual, and
or are just drawn to it. They may not even go there to meditate. Yeah. They're actually drawn to that space. That's why it's on that line.
And then a little church
appears
around it, because that's where everybody goes.
Yeah. Because it makes sense, because people are drawn to it. So why not utilize that space?
If they're associating it with a spiritual experience, then why not build a church there?
Absolutely.
That's right. Yes.
There you go.
Or build a temple.
So, these are some of the things that we need to consider. We've not got any answers, but these are questions we're asking, and a few of these things resonate with us. Paul Devereux, again, in The Lay Hunter's Companion, 1979, said, ancient man may have known how to harmonise with the Earth's vibrational field, something we're only now beginning to rediscover.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You do agree with that?
I agree with that. I think over the centuries our senses have been dulled by being influenced by religion, etc.
Yep.
Where spirituality is thought to be something different to what
it actually is.
Well,
it's become very religious, hasn't it? And the religion has basically taken all the spirituality out of it for the most part.
Exactly. So it becomes just a mystery, and anything that is felt becomes witchcraft or spiritistic.
A cult, because it's hidden and you don't really understand it anymore.
But it's not hidden. You can experience it. It's there, and it's not witchy-woo-y stuff.
It's quite interesting, isn't it, that when Christianity sort of became the big world religion, a lot of these sort of pagan things, like the Druidism and the Mother Nature and all the rest of it, a lot of these things sort of like were suppressed and put down. Oh, don't do that, because it's it's satanic, it's demonic, it's whatever, and all you're left with is basically like a kind of set of rituals that come across as very man-made and almost formulaic in there, but they don't really provide any sort of real spirituality or connection. You just go and you sing your hymns and you say your prayers and you come home and I've done another church visit.
Yeah.
It's not the same as, Aboriginals or...
Yes, and I have something on that.
Oh, please, run with that for a moment.
Yeah, because we're talking about like the energy lines and having power and to feel good and so forth. By the Indigenous people, they actually call them song lines.
Soul lines. Song lines.
Song lines.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because basically it's the earth's energy singing.
Right, lovely.
So, that's because they've got from what I've researched, is saying that they believe that it's the earth subtle energy currents, and they connect sacred sites and are considered vital for the health and the vitality for the land and the people. So it's not just the people, but also the land.
So maybe when they first sort of stuck a church on those places, maybe those early churches, I'm talking about sort of 1,000-year-old churches, of which there still are some, in the UK, maybe they were still quite a spiritual experience. But then, some idiot's gone and installed like electricity and Wi-Fi in it, and now it's...
Yeah, but you think of those worn-down churches, they're just one or two walls still standing.
Yeah. Oh, that's like that at Glastonbury Tour,
yeah. Just to be there and you still experience something, that just a sensation, even if you're not a religious person, even if you're not a spiritual person,
it feels
there
like
is something there. There is an energy there that you just feel. You can't ignore it.
Well, there you go. So that's a few thoughts on whether or not the Earth has got power, energy areas. So what are we going to go on that one? Vote on that one. I'm edging towards, I think it probably does. Even the skeptic in me. What about you, Mariella?
I'm definitely for.
I'm 100% behind that.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. All right. Okay. Yep. Well, that's a good time to remind you yet again to like and subscribe to our little channel. And comment. Don't forget to comment. Absolutely.
Don't forget to comment. Yes.
Otherwise, it's just the three of us talking to each other.
Why not?
Well,
which we do quite well, but
it's fun. But it would be nice to have a bit of company.
It's aimed for an audience.
Alrighty. So our next section is all about levitation and lost technologies. Ooh. All right. So we've been talking about frequencies, that kind of thing. We're now moving on to the idea of acoustic frequencies. We obviously, sound is travels as a frequency through the air at different hertz. One of the most controversial claims is that ley lines, which have these frequencies running along them, electromagnetism or whatever, were involved in levitating and transporting massive stones such as the ones at Stonehenge, Great Pyramid of Giza or the Easter Islands. Some theorists say acoustic levitation is what's going on here. Basically sound frequencies, so the vibration through sound emitting from wherever, the earth, whatever.
Or musical instruments.
Or musical instruments, possibly. Tibetan monks are said to have done this via chants and using horns and things like that.
Yes, they did.
Possibly exacerbated by the fact that you're already on a ley line that's got some frequencies going.
So it's using the energy from that particular spot.
And the idea is that by using acoustic frequencies, you can actually reduce the weight of a massive object. So the idea is that you would vibrate the molecules in the actual object to the point where
they're weightless.
the molecules are basically hovering in space, and then the whole thing. And then if you've got like an electromagnetic, for almost like a mag train. If you see those where the trains hover on the magnetic fields, you can just push the
like
thing
a hovercraft.
As long as you keep blowing your horn and doing your chant, so it's and then you can just push it along the ley line. So there's one little idea.
Yep.
In theory, acoustic levitation is a real thing, and you can do it scientifically. It is demonstrable. However, it's not. We don't know how to do it at the scales required to lift a massive stone. For example, what you can do if you use an ultrasonic transducer to emit a sound wave around about 20 kilohertz, something like that, things like tiny beads or drops of water or even little small objects like insects, that sort of thing, dead insects, you can actually make them hover on the actual sound waves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if they used... any crystal energy was used as well in association with
probably with the ultrasonic transducers. I would imagine there are probably crystals that work in those.
Like quartz.
Possibly, things like that. NASA actually uses this for handling very like objects in what they call microgravity
Not an actual space agency.
So they can actually float. Well, they can actually float things. So they don't.
Isn't that what NASA is? It's not an actual space
Oh,
agency.
is that what it stands for? Oh, very good. Yeah, I like that. I'm not so sure about this. The requirements to lift, say, a 10 or 12 ton stone would be absolutely astronomical. We don't know how to do it. And of
but
course,
apparently the monks did, and that technology was lost in last century. So,
but even so,
it was written about, but no proof.
Even so, scientifically, the larger the object, the lower the frequency required. So the deeper the sound. So you're not just talking about a very low E.
No, so it could be the monks humming very low sound.
Bloody low, yeah.
Maybe they
had the secret.
High frequencies.
Well, they
rather.
had the secret, not me.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's maybe, I don't know if they had to sing high or low, but we can't do it. That's the point. We can't get those frequencies to lift anything.
The fact that those sites and artifacts are found is evidence enough to know that they knew what they were doing.
Oh, they definitely moved it. They definitely moved it somewhere.
We just don't have the understanding right now. Yes.
It just goes to show that we're not as advanced as we think we are.
No, there was more advanced civilizations.
All right, but there's so many additional issues with this. Like if you're using acoustic frequencies to lift heavy objects, okay, the sound is going to be astronomical. The frequencies of these sounds is going to like kill your ears. You're going to need some pretty big ear defenders.
But what if you did it with sound through the mind?
Sound through the mind.
Oh, this is interesting.
Go on, run with that. I don't even know what that means.
I'm just putting it out there. Is that just because we can't prove it or can't understand it doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So just because we don't have any instruments at this point or have voices at this point to make certain sounds that we can hear.
I've just thought of something.
But maybe
that's where didgeridoos got their start.
We did have instruments that
made
sounds that are really hard to hear. And that had because you can't touch vibration. You can't touch energy. You can feel it, but you can't grab it and get hold of it.
No.
So maybe the sound,
all right,
we can't physically prove it.
I don't know. I'm sceptical on that. Magnetism and anti-gravity, there are hypotheses that says that it's not audio frequencies. It's just harnessing in on what we've already said, the electromagnetism of the Earth's field. So basically finding that ley line, and at some point it would have had a high enough
frequency
energy signature to be able to hover something much as people do with trains now. But of course that involves like huge motors and batteries and things.
Combined energy. So you've got your sound, you've got your actual magnetic.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
There is an example in Florida that's quite interesting. Have you heard of the Coral Castle? The Coral Castle, built by a guy called Edward Leedskalnin.
Yes, and he only built it at night.
He did. He went out at night.
Yes.
He said he discovered the ancient secrets of the Egyptian pyramid builders.
Yes.
He allegedly moved multi-ton coral blocks all alone without any machinery.
Yes. In the dark.
Using ley lines.
Yes.
So he said.
Yes,
single-handedly,
and no one's proved it one way or the other. Nobody knows how he did it.
He never wrote anything down about how he did it. He did it over 28 years between 1923 and 1951. Went out at night time, and he moved over 1,100 tons of rock. Some blocks weighing as much as 30 ton, all on his own.
Yeah, and it's a weird looking.
Have you seen it?
Building. I've seen a documentary on it.
Okay.
Weird looking building. I've not been there myself, but yeah, fascinating.
Well, some people say, he just used pulleys.
But you would have heard the sound. There was no sound. People couldn't hear him do stuff.
Okay. What do you think, Mario?
And you would have seen the equipment.
I've not heard of this before.
And
it's
you would have seen the equipment during the day.
You would have thought over 28 years.
Someone would have tried to sneak in and see what on earth was happening and watch him somehow, and they never did.
Well, he said, I understand the laws of weight and leverage, and I know the secrets of the people who built the pyramids. So he's a little bit sort of...
He was very secretive.
Non-committal there, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Did
but
he use a pulley or didn't he?
Well, he never said one way or the other. Yeah,
No.
but he was very much an introvert and didn't socialise very much.
Who knows?
So, yeah.
So what do you think? Let us know what you think in the comments. Hit that that like button.
Has anyone liked it?
Oh,
yet?
no idea. But
Is there anyone there?
Keep annoying people till they do, please. Let us know what you think. Does anything that we're talking about resonate with you? Have you had any experiences with ley lines, weird feelings in certain places? I must admit, when I go up to Torridon in Scotland, I feel a bit...
Do you?
I do.
And what does that mean?
Yeah, it just means that when I'm up there, I feel different, like connected to something, and I can almost feel like the earth beneath me.
Interesting. Yeah.
We honestly do want to hear from you, and we reply to all the comments. Also, we've got a section in our a radio show that we do, haven't we, Mariella?
We do.
Which has a whole section called
Strange but True.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. If you happen to leave a comment about ley lines and how it's affected you, and it's an interesting comment, we may very well pick that up and run with it on the radio show.
We may. Yes.
We may. So get involved. You might get a shout out, but only
If you comment.
well, only if you comment, and only if it's
Strange but True.
it's got to be strange and it's got to be true. All right, next point: Stargates.
Oh,
Have you seen Stargate?
no.
Yes.
You have. Did you enjoy
Oh,
it?
it used to be one of my favourite.
It was one of my favourite shows as well.
Oh, my God.
Who was your favourite character?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. No, I don't.
Captain Jack O'Neill or Daniel or Tilk?
I don't know. Which was the better looking one?
Well, the young guy was Daniel, wasn't he?
Well, then that would have been it.
No, that was one. Not the guy who used to play MacGyver.
No. Remember,
Captain
I
Jack
was a
O'Neill.
teenager, so I would have, had all my
Okay.
pheromones going, so I would have gone for the young hot one that was buff usually.
So the idea behind the idea behind Stargate was that they had these like circular gates which had been created by extraterrestrials.
Yeah, and time travel or travel.
Well, no, travel
through time.
Well, no, not really through time, just through the universe.
Well, that's it's
So
you got to
you
travel.
like
You
Doctor
got to travel
Strange.
through time to
Yeah,
get
a bit
somewhere.
like Doctor Strange portal. So basically, you opened the portal, you jumped through the hole, through the Stargate, and you went into a wormhole, and you popped out sort of somewhere else in the universe.
So to me, I call that time and space. You travel through
okay.
time and space.
Well, we're always travelling through time, aren't we?
and space.
Well,
Yes.
and space, yeah, on account of the fact the Earth is moving. Yeah. All right. So,
Oh, is it really?
well, apparently.
Right.
So that's the idea of Stargates, portals, that kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes, yeah.
Another layer of ley line lore. That was difficult for me to say.
Did it well, though.
Yes, you did very well.
Connects
line
ley
law.
lines with stargates, dimensional portals, and even alien technology. The idea takes us deep into the realm of what we call fringe science. We've been watching Fringe, haven't we, recently? Some people claim that ley lines they intersect. Where they intersect, they are energy vortices. Potentially, at the points where they interconnect, there is like a place in space where you could technically, if you knew how, you could actually go through it and pop out somewhere else.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
Really?
It wouldn't surprise me. I just think, like I said before, we're a bit dulled to it all.
Okay. And maybe things have
Desensitised?
dulled over the years. Maybe in the past,
Could be.
it was a lot, stronger.
Maybe
at
there
those
was a lot
points.
more interaction in the past,
Right.
and now there's
So
no need for
is
them
it possible?
to interact with
Is
us.
it possible that where those points are, the reason why a lot of these monoliths and big churches and pyramids are at these points is they realise if we pop a massive, great big stone through that vortice, it's actually going to pop out at that one 200 miles away.
Could be.
Maybe they didn't actually move them 200 miles from the quarry.
No, maybe they just stayed where they were.
They just pushed
popped
them
out
through the
other
hole
end.
and they popped out the other end.
Yeah,
Could be.
yeah. So
Could be.
I wonder where CERN how many ley lines that is based at.
Oh well, is that
in
the
Switzerland
where
they do the
yeah.
where they're
collider.
trying to do the collider.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
Big name for it, where they
The massive
times space bomb, and they're trying to bring
massive colander.
Yeah, and they're trying to bring in other things from
Well, the thing is as well, have you noticed that all these things
do all those weird
tend to be under
dancers and
they always
stuff.
tend to be under the ground or in mountains or
Yes,
things. Was it
correct.
The Stargate
Yes.
in the movie and in the
Yes.
series was in the Cheyenne Mountains.
Yes, because maybe there is things within the earth, not out there.
Area 51 stuff.
You see?
I'm going to give you a biblical one again. I know how much we love the Bible. Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
Now, that story always used to intrigue me when I was a Bible reader.
It's one that was popular,
Yeah, well, you know the word Babel?
which is Baal.
Well, the group I used to belong to used to translate Babel as making it a connection with the word Babel.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know, when you babble and you just make a load
Which
of
is
noise.
lots of talking.
And it's the idea that they had their languages confused at Babel and all the rest of it.
Yes.
I think we're missing a massive part of the story here. Because first off, the reason that tower in the story, whether it's myth or legend or has some truth in it, the reason that tower was built was they were trying to reach the heavens.
Correct,
That's the
because they
first
want to
thing.
get to God or to
Right.
the heavens, yes.
Babel
Mm-hmm.
actually translates as gate,
Yes.
Bab, of the L.
Gods.
God's.
Gate
yeah.
of the gods. We're
Yes.
talking about a Stargate.
Yes.
Is it possible that the
So-
Tower of Babel,
We're trying to build a portal.
or it was a portal,
Maybe it
they were
was a
building
portal.
something on there and they thought,
We can get in because maybe there was people or things coming out. And
All
they
right,
wanted
so-
to be able to get in, not out.
so there's another example. The NASCAR lines in Peru,
Yes.
you know, we talked about the chalk lines with the man with his massive dingaling.
Ding, ling, ling.
They're not all like that. Some of them actually look like...
Not all like that.
they're not all like that.
No, I'm sure they're not.
Some of them
Goodness.
actually look like ancient runways.
Yes. And from the sky, if you go high enough, it actually does look like a landing
It looks like a
site
landing place.
for
Yeah.
a very big ship of
Right.
some
So is it
kind.
possible that those ships were popping through energy vortices around the area, coming out of like literally just out of nowhere, and then
going-
landing on
yeah.
those spots?
Yeah. See, I'd run with that.
You would run with that.
I would run with that. Yes.
All right, and then the last one I've got is the Montauk Project, Skinwalker Ranch and other locations said to lie on ley lines associated with things like time travel experiments, UFO activity and paranormal events. So just basically weird shit happening in these various areas. And people say, oh, it must be aliens or it must be
Bermuda
UFO.
Triangle is part of the ley lines.
Is that on a ley line? There you go.
Yes.
So again,
yes, it is. Yes.
so,
Yes, it is. Because where is that on my notes? Bermuda Triangle. Yes, it's in the area of the North Atlantic Ocean, forming a triangle between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. This area is known for the disappearances, but yes, it is on ley lines.
on a ley line.
Yeah.
So there we go again. And I actually am convinced that, you know, like the Tower of Babel, probably a ziggurat of some sort, you know, like a pyramid kind of thing. I'm convinced that underneath the ocean, there are probably dozens more, hundreds more pyramids under the ocean.
Well, there is pyramids in Russia, pyramids in China,
Probably
pyramids
pyramids in the Antarctic.
and there's pyramids in the UK. There's pyramids in the Arctic.
Yeah. So maybe
So-
these are on ley lines, and maybe they were. Maybe, you know, Captain
Yeah.
Jack O'Neill in Stargate. Maybe there's some
Maybe they were just
Truth behind
docking
that.
points.
Yeah.
docking points for spaceships, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
One fringe writer, don't know their name, they wrote on their blog, ley lines are the nervous system of the Earth. At their intersections, consciousness shifts, time bends, and space is not what it seems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And because another thing that I read in my research, which we haven't discussed, which we've talked all about nice fluffy stuff, but some of the sacred sites on certain ley lines are actually quite deep and dark, and also where people would bury people because it made good burial sites, but also where people might suicide, which is not necessarily a pleasant thing. So not every ley line area is positive energy. It could also
now
be negative
I'm starting
energy.
to think, like how churchyards, which are built on ley lines,
and
you get like graves,
so you got a bit of both.
Buried, and people are always saying, "Oh, I saw ghosts in that area," and all the rest of it. Yeah, maybe these are like vortices where some of those energies are coming back through still,
or maybe they just couldn't get through because the ley line is holding them back.
All right, let's jump back to churches, cathedrals, and spiritual sites. A lot of ancient pagan sites were basically later Christianized. So, Christianity.
So there were ley lines.
Funny that.
Christianity is relatively late to the show, isn't it? It's paganism was around for a lot longer.
My take on it is Christianity is actually paganism upside down.
Well, because it's just adopted things and made a bit of a mess of it in the process. Placement of churches, cathedrals, all that sort of thing. In Britain, for example, many old churches are dedicated to St Michael. Hundreds of these. There's St Michael's Mount, Burrows Mump, Glastonbury Tor, of course. That's the one I was talking about earlier. That's only the sort of few standing remains. Avebury. It just doesn't seem a coincidence, does it? That those churches, Christian churches, are on pagan sites.
Yeah. And I would say if you went to India or if you went to China or, in the East versus the West, you would find there would be temples or religious sites on ley lines on that part. I think they'd all be interconnected, really. If you go Mexico, all the way through to the Americas, through to Europe, all the way through to China and, India and all those places, a lot of them would all be religious or spiritual
so there
sites.
may be pagan sites in other places and they've just become a different religion, not Christianity.
That's right, yeah.
There you go.
I think pagan is not just a Christian converted thing. I actually think pagan is on the other side of the world as well. It was literally just, I guess, earth-based early people's religion maybe.
Yep.
That's my theory on paganism is it's earth-based, early. I pray to the moon, I pray to the corn god, I pray to water god, I pray to, earth-based.
Yeah.
And then it gets integrated into
connection.
whether it's, Christianity, but it could be Hinduism, it's all variables and all got adapted.
There we go. Yeah. All righty. Finally, let's just move on to, let's get a bit of scientific skepticism into the mix. When it comes to science, archaeology, geography, all the sort of sciences, they basically dismiss the whole idea of ley lines. It says it's just coincidence. You're just looking at sacred sites and they just happen to line up. The brain, of course, looks for meaning in randomness. Nothing more than coincidence, confirmation bias. Some have said if you scatter enough ancient sites across a map, it's inevitable. Some of them are going to look like they line up. You're thinking too much into it.
Yeah, if you want to really simplify it, then yes, you can. But at the end of the day, everyone can make up their own mind. I just think it's not necessarily a coincidence because I don't believe in coincidences. So that's just my theory. It's just, randomness sounds easy because then you don't have to think about it too much. But a lot of times science can't prove things, so therefore you've just got to dismiss it.
What do you think, Mariella?
I think considering that the world's population was much lower than what it is now, to claim that it's just random putting things up in particular places. You build enough places, it's going to be coincidence. In a populated society that we have now, yes, I would say that's plausible. But with the world's population as it was, we're talking about historic sites, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. I don't see that they could just be a random thing.
You agree with Mariella?
Yeah, and even with this much population, things still get planned. You know, you've got government planners, you've got civic planners, you've got, you know, architects. There's still planning going on with everything. So I think in a lot of ways, a lot of history still gets buried simply because we don't understand it, or they don't want people to understand it because you don't necessarily want to prove to debunk something from yesterday. So you may as well just leave yesterday's the way it is.
So maybe science is hiding something.
I think that's what science is used for in a lot of cases, not in all cases.
No, not in all cases.
But I think in a lot of cases, science can be used to hide something else.
We're going to touch on that briefly because like fringe theorists and you know, their cousins, the old conspiracy theorists, they say the sheer number of aligned sites defies chance. That's basically what Mariella's just said. They say ancient cultures may well have had knowledge that we don't have now about Earth's energies.
Yeah.
And they point to the fact that when it comes to governments, they tend to either avoid those lines if, for example, they're building something that they don't want interference from energy, or if they want to exploit it, they tend to build things like military bases, communication towers, and other things on these ley lines.
Correct. So
we've basically gone from churches and henges to military bases and communication towers.
Yes, and then when governments and scientists debunk most things, yet when they go and
say,
look at land,
they
still use someone that it's a dowser. They still have people. They pay men to do dowsing. They still pay men to douse.
Well, I think
and you kind of go, well
that's
isn't that part of ley line?
Coming back onto the geomancy again, it's like water divining, but it's divining the Earth's magnetic,
which
field.
To me is still somehow looking for ley lines, right?
Yeah,
or energetic lines, if you want to look at it.
Mariella, what were you going to say then?
No, I agree. So
you
it's sort
agree
of
with
like you may not be looking for water, but you're looking for that energy.
You're looking
which science may not be able to locate.
Yes.
Or can they?
But
they're paying an
they're still
individual
paying
to
people
do
to
it
do it.
manually. So
Well, there's huge government projects and agencies going on. There's the HARP agency or program, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, scientific research facility in Gacona, Alaska, of all places, funded originally by the US Air Force, Navy, and the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. You've heard of them?
I have, and this is where a lot of the weather changes gets blamed upon.
It does. If our friend Denise is listening,
I do believe that it is bigger than that.
It's even bigger than that. Well, if Denise happens to be listening, she's come on the show before. She's talked about how the government are basically trying to change the weather.
They are.
With chemtrails and all this sort of thing where they're blowing like silver nitrate into the air.
They've been doing it since the 1900s. They've got patents going on for a very long time. Yep. I mean, China, when they had the Olympic Games, openly said they controlled and manipulated the weather so that it wasn't going to rain and they had sunny days.
Well, there we go.
That's a while ago now, isn't it? When that was on the news, but people forgot about that.
HOP and DARPA, one of the main things that they're, and this is no secret, this is not a conspiracy. No. One of their main research projects is what's known as an ionospheric heater.
Yes.
Which is a high frequency radio transmitter array. So we're talking about frequencies again, that basically sends energy out into the ionosphere, which is the kind of charged part of the upper atmosphere of the Earth. And their project, their research is to find out how radio waves interact with the ionosphere. Because, of course, in that area, they're using things like satellites and navigate GPS, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they're basically blasting energy up into the ionosphere to see how it bounces around.
Which will change the weather, I am sure.
Well, this is the thing. They're saying that HARP-style interference is affecting the weather, and not just the weather, whether it's manipulated deliberately or just a side effect of these sort of experiments that they're doing. It also can affect things like your mind, mind control, and energy directing technology, whatever that is, which governments allegedly are experimenting with. So they're basically saying, the fringe theorists are saying, the government is messing around with energies on Earth, ley lines around the Earth, all the sort of, this pattern, this grid around the Earth as well.
All under the disguise of
they're basically
wellness,
trying to manipulate the weather. They're trying to control human consciousness. Now, there's a worrying thing.
Well, they do want to take that over.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So, because that's what they call it, the hive mind, because you want to try and create a hive mind, and the hive mind is one mind controlled by one entity.
Maybe it's no wonder the churches are all on the same ley lines. Magnetism projects, and basically ways to experimentation to suppress ley lines or block the Earth's energy, which is the opposite of what the people in the past were trying to do.
They want to harness
because
it
they want to harness it and they want to control. Yes.
Right,
so that's why. Yeah.
So tell me again that ley lines aren't a thing.
Yes, correct.
Ley lines
when they actually do so many things around it to disrupt it.
Well, this is what we're going to ask finally. So ley lines remain a tantalising mystery.
Yep.
Whether they are ancient trackways, energy grids, or something weirder, something potentially
strange but
true. What do we make of it? Are ley lines a forgotten science, a spiritual network, a cosmic map, or are they just tracks between churches?
All of the above.
Mystical Mariella says all of the above.
And I think it's been utilised as all of the above. I think the original was there, and then it has been utilised to create lines and sites and so forth.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
I think there's a grid that's there.
Well, maybe the
it.
real power of these ley lines isn't anything to do with the ground. Maybe it's just the questions that they awaken. Maybe that's what sparks all the mystery.
Oh, look at you going.
And, trying to sort of just make sense of it.
Ever the skeptic.
I know, the cynic and the skeptic digging in going, well, it could be, but,
All right. Well, we want to hear your thoughts anyway, don't we?
Comment.
Absolutely. Go and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell us if you believe in ley lines. Have you ever visited a site that felt unusually powerful or a little bit weird? Share your experiences, and join us next time when we peel back more of these mysteries of life. Like an onion.
Bye for now.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.